Good morning. Today we're going to do a run of Sastasha. This is the first dungeon you will encounter. It's a level 15 dungeon, so if you are over that, you will be synced down to level 18. So you have a little bit of a range. It looks like my party's just getting together and we're just going to get started. So with Sastasha, basically, yeah, it's the first dungeon. And even though, you think once you get over 18, if you are just starting out, you will do this dungeon periodically throughout your entire Final Fantasy XIV career. Mainly because of duty roulette. You do get some bonuses from doing duty roulette leveling once a day, and of course this is always an option to pop up. So every once in a while you might still encounter this even at higher levels. As you can see, I'm synced quite far down today in order to get it, so I don't get quite as good XP as I do when I'm doing levels that are actually in my level range. A couple of the members do seem to be lower level, like it looks like our Thaumaturge is only level 17, so this is probably why we got this dungeon today. So it looks like we're helping someone out. So I am on White Mage today, which is the upgrade from Conjurer, again, if you're just getting started. And you can see that my main goal here is to keep everybody healed. However, every once in a while you can catch me throwing out an arrow. It's just a damage over time, DOT. And it's just to help out a little bit. Now, another nifty gadget that we will, that I'll just point out if you have not seen it already when we do throw out an arrow. There we go. We'll just throw out an arrow, and you can see automatically some numbers pop up right next to our names in the upper left-hand corner. Now those names just or those numbers, I'm sorry, just show where everybody is located on the hate scale, basically. So you can see on this one I'm number 3, and I just have a little sliver. And the little sliver bar underneath your kind of job icon is your progression all the way towards the aggressor, or where the tank should be. So you don't want to be too high up there. And the all the way full should be your tanking. So it gives you a couple of different fleet management tools that you can use here. So she's very business today. Yeah, just toss out some arrow. So yeah, one of the downsides of being the healer is that you do miss so much action that's going on. I miss being like right up there watching the action, looking at the action. Right now I tend to stare a lot more at my upper right or upper left hand corner, just to make sure that everybody is, kind of healthy and their health is keeping up. But unfortunately, the downside of that is that you don't exactly get to see all of the sick moves everybody's pulling. So back onto actually the hate scale. While you're in low levels like this, and especially if you have to come back here at later stages in your leveling, it's always good to know that the tank basically has like the bare minimum of hate control mechanisms right now at their disposal. They're missing a lot of their really good moves that they get later on. And so with some different, especially classes, you're going to want to make sure that you stay nice and low on that hate scale. If you are a healer especially. For damage dealers, especially if you're closer, it's a little bit less of a concern because you can usually take a pop of the mouth or two. But if you are a mage, especially, because you don't want to disrupt all of the melees when you pull the monster and it goes running to the back of the line trying to eat your face. You will hear that a lot. It's one of my biggest fears. They're gonna eat my face. I've been conditioned very well by all of my former link shells and pre-companies. Oh, and I just leveled up. Exciting, exciting. I get to go do my next quest. Yay. But maybe that will mean I get something really good. Another nice thing about this dungeon are these Shade Seekers. It looks like there's just a ton of trash mobs, and if you're wondering why I'm not casting arrow on them, is that they're basically one-hit mobs. If this Thaumaturge would throw out a thunder or a fire too, they would go down pretty quick. It only takes about a hit or two, even with that the ice or the blizzard. The blizzard too. They just threw there. I do love me some Black Mage. That was my previous main before I started over, but I thought I would try something different. I usually tend to start out with melee jobs and then level healing jobs, and so I thought I'd do something a little bit different this time and start with a healer and then kind of expand onto melee. So let's go. Come on, Sketchy. Get with the program. Okay, so there we go. Let's get this clam. And the Shade Seeker. Maybe if we're lucky, we can get some nuking in on the... No? Are we gonna get it? Are we gonna get it? Yes? No? Yes? Yes, we're gonna get it. Okay. Wasn't too sure there at first. We're just kind of looking around. Surveying the Shade Seekers. I'm thinking that the, it looks like this paladin, or since he's mutating here is a little bit. He's not a paladin yet, but oh my gosh, it's right at my tongue, and I cannot pull up the word. What is the word? Is he looks like he's a little bit he's new. He's not taking with too much confidence. He's going a little bit slower. This dungeon can sometimes go much quicker, especially this first part. It's usually a little bit quicker. When you get to the pirates, it can be a little bit more dragging, but it's okay. He's taking his time. He's being thorough. So this is the first boss, and we're just going to run in and hit Chopper with some arrow. And heal him up, and then maybe if we're still good on that hate scale, we will get a couple moves in. So I've changed my stance to cleric stance. This allows me to get a couple of moves in. but we do not want to heal in this stand. So, oh no, oh no! So yeah, that's Thaumaturge is taking damage because they allow themselves to clearly raise too high on the hate scale. So that's basically what happens. So if you were wondering what happens when something eats your face, that's pretty much it. Exactly. And again, the downside is that there is a tank. The tank's job is to tank. Don't deprive him of his job. Okay, so we've got a little bit of damage here as well. So you can see in the beginning there, I didn't quite have my cleric stance down yet after the fight. So that is a huge difference, if you notice, in how much your cures do. If you are not a white mage specifically, then you probably will never ever encounter that issue. But for any white mages, it's basically an ability that it just allows your mind and intelligence to swap places. So, as you can imagine, you put all of your attribute points into mind for the first little while here, so your mind builds up quite a bit quicker than your intelligence, as it should, because the mind is all about healing. And so when your intelligence is high, your mind is low, not only do your cures appear to be less effective than they are, but also you will attract more heat. Again, the heat scale is always something you want to be aware of when you are healing. So normally I would switch over and do some nuking, since we were making we weren't taking too much hate, and we still had quite a bit to go on the boss there. He was only at 50%, but as you can see, he only goes down to 50%. He ends up flying off after that, and we just move on to the next part of the sorry, he just keeps stopping and he keeps throwing me off. The next part of the dungeon. So here we're in a main room, and we're going to want to grab all of these pirates. So we are going to grab these pirates. Okay, apparently I am not the only person who is nervous, but we'll pick this up in the next video.